Obey Alliance, formerly known as Team Eager, will take on my guys, formerly known as, well, they're just my guys. It's Transonics and the crew taking on what's going to be Dwurst and friends. Both of these teams have seemed very strong, not just this year, but for the entirety that we've pretty much seen competitive console action. We'll take a look at a snapshot of the league as we're here in North America, and pretty much if you take a look at the standings, that's going to be reflected right alongside. 6 points for my guys since they're sitting up on top. SB's number 2, but Obey Alliance sitting friendly at 3rd with 3 points.
It's kind of surprising to see Obey Alliance currently is struggling a little bit. They did have a loss earlier on in this split, you know, winning Worlds last year, but now having to go through a little bit of adversity.
Yeah, it's going to be the first time that they've really seen some strong. Well, I wouldn't say the first time. Last year, I think we saw some less struggle and more just a strengthening of the league's talent around them. We saw more teams come out, notably Cloud's team and some other squads that really gave them a fight for a run for their money. Here, it seems like the Eager squad is sort of stabilized and seeing, or excuse me, the Obey squad is sort of stabilized and seeing some of that success that they saw initially when they first joined the console world. So we'll see how they go head-to-head versus my guys. Let's take it to picks and bans for our North American Console League action.
Gonna be looking at Obey Alliance versus my guys as I grab my notepad real quick to make sure I write down these picks and bans. Gonna see the Toth ban right off the bat. It's no surprise to see it taken away from my guys. They've been running a very aggressive composition usually, and Toth can give you a lot of that long-range artillery fire from a distance.
Absolutely. It's something, not only do you have that, but you have strong setup off of the stun as well. So Thoth going to be taken off the mark, and Ratatasker as well taken away. Another just all-around strong pick, global presence, high form of damage, and as we said a number of times, really active and able to really set the pace of the game. Hunbats does a similar thing, although less mobile. A wheelish, more mobile, but less control-oriented. Cabrakan is going to be the actual pick for Obey Alliance to start us off.
Willish leads me to believe that there's going to be some jumps on the side of Obey Alliance, trying to make sure that they don't have anything negated against them. Sure. More than likely could be potential Hunbat. Well, Hunbats has been banned, but the Odin is a good opportunity here, especially as my guys elect to lock in that Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus, the Zeus-Odin combo is very strong, and there it's going to be selected by my guys. Odin is a character that is viewed very highly in the console league world. Just a lot of lockdown coming out from the players in this side of the world. Ymir is going to be selected alongside Cabrakan. We just saw these two characters played next to each other. Now, Quantum didn't have the best of luck with them, but when you see these two characters come out, you know that control is going to be a big deal. Neith selected as well. Obey Alliance is going for the exact draft that we just saw Quantum.
We're seeing a very interesting draft out of Obey Alliance. This double guarding Hunter with Neith is a flex opportunity. You could run this in the mid lane for Delta Marine if that's what they elect to do. You could have a lot of good protection here from the Cabrakan and the Ymir. The throwing out the walls, it's going to be very difficult for Coviiii playing the Zeus to really get in a safe position.
I like the Medusa here for the Hunter on my guys. Transonics, one of the first players to really bring out Fatalis, even when it wasn't optimal, I'd say arguably last year. Still like to bring out the Fatalis on Medusa and his favorite Shibalanke. But here, the Fatalis works so well with this character's passive, and since Transonics is kind of what he does anyway, gonna work out really well for him. Second round of bans, Susanoo and Poseidon banned out by Obey and my guys, respectively. And that'll be a pass ban for my guys as Thanatos is banned out by Obey Alliance. Now, why do you think that my guys opted for the pass ban in this situation?
You're just putting the clock back in the opponent's hands. You don't really care what you're going to ban, so you're putting the pressure onto Obey Alliance. You're kind of making them second-guess themselves of what they truly want to take away from my guys. Picking up a Guardian here on the form of Athena is a great opportunity for my guys to synergize their ultimates in the form of Medusa specifically, trying to confirm that Petrify stun.
And also, not for nothing, the Medusa-Athena combo, the taunt into the Petrify, one of the old-school combos. But Athena ulting onto Odin, also one of the strong, tried-and-true combos. Bird Bomb's going to hit really hard if you have a whole other player coming down on top as well. So my guys have a number of options, whether it's Zeus Odin, Athena Medusa. They're looking for combos pretty much all the time. You got eggs on the right side as they pair it up with Nemesis, who's the quintessential plug-and-play combo. You hit the ultimate and literally anything flows into it.
All in potential from my guys with that Nemesis last pick. Same style goes for Obey Alliance, taking this Bacchus. It's a triple guarding double hunter, something that we've seen before from Valen Squad in the SPL side of things, and it's been working out really well for them.
And something that we've seen out of their old namesake, Team Eager. We'll see if Obey can do it themselves here on the console side. Obey versus My Guys. We're looking at the #1 team in the league versus the #3 team in the league, but both teams have had relative amounts of success. The Obey roster still pretty much the same. Nothing really changed there. And My Guys is kind of a combination of what we saw some successful teams wind up with last year. KhaoticPurpose, otherwise known as Layers of Death. And of course, Chacho from the old teammate of Aggro, our own.
You're saying that Obey has no changes?
We see,
Jelly. Jelly got some peanut butter in him.
Oh, stop.
Now he needs some milk, though, to be fair.
Not going down this drive, not going down that path. We'll see. We'll see My Guys here. Chacho used to play with Aggro and, believe it or not, Chapo. If you haven't heard, Aggro used to play on a team with Chapo.
I believe it, as well as Weekend. Very interesting dynamic there to have some aggressive players on the same team. To have that balance as well is very important. Aggro was one of those guys where he's been able to kind of mediate a lot of the tension between those aggressive players, and that's what you always need to have in a competitive team.
Nice little proxy farm coming out from My Guys. They take the wave out from underneath Air Cougar as they realize that Air Cougar is going to be the only player in this lane since pbnjellly has moved over and helped some of the other side of the map.
I love what My Guys is doing here in the duel lane. They even pulled some of these minions to help them tank the purple buff, to help them clear it out a little bit more. Now, the only problem with that is you have to time your last hit very effectively because those melee minions could snag that one away from you.
Imagine the purple buff just sitting on the ground because it belongs to a melee minion. Troublesome. My Guys, now they're having trouble on their own side of the jungle. Obey said, hey, you can abuse our Air Cougar, but that means we're going to abuse the right side of the map. KhaoticPurpose is going to beads out of that situation, so 150 on his relic, and Obey certainly will remember that timing.
And Obey doesn't really mind if Air Cougar's behind in the duel lane. They've prepared it, leaving him alone on the left-hand side to make sure that they can deny this jungle soul lane between Wolves on the Odin, KhaoticPurpose on the Nemesis. KhaoticPurpose has been one of these players in the console scene that's been always aggressive, and most of his aggression is the result of getting any sort of early momentum. And Obey Alliance so far have been doing a good job making sure that he's not been in a position to find any buff invades on his own.
And it's not just the player. I mean, even if you look beyond that to the picks that they've selected, Odin is extremely mana hungry, certainly wants the blue buff over there in that solo lane. And KhaoticPurpose, I mean, Nemesis and Speed go together like, I don't know, pbnjellly and milk. What were you talking about before?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a great snack. You should try it sometime.
I think I'm good, totally. I'm not really a jelly fan.
Oh, well then.
There's going to be a knock-up on the Chacho. Brought down to half HP thanks to Delta Marine. Mid lane Neith dealing the damage. You know, honestly, one of the first mid lane Neiths that we've seen around Delta Marine, really bringing it to prominence off of what was sort of the influence before we were sort of talking about the weakened influence on Chapo. Well, I think that we saw some of the eager influence on the guys from Obey, notably Air Cougar with the aggressive ultimate. Here comes Jelly after the fact. Not going to find much damage, but the rest of Obey file in, and Delta Marine files one down the center and files that in the kill column. Transonics answers back, but he's a leg away from death. Chacho playing bodyguard, and KhaoticPurpose going to help secure the kill. Death for Chacho, but more importantly, not for Transonics. Chacho successfully plays Guardian there.
2 for 1, but Obey Alliance aren't done yet. They're going to take this opportunity for the 2.5 kills on Transonics by invading this red buff. It's always a great opportunity to look for more buffs after you get some kills around the Gold Fury side. This is the neutral line of the map, which could be crossed once you do have that slight player advantage.
Yeah, that dotted line, I always try to avoid using the term the 50-yard line, right? We got to find a different, like a nice medium. Dwurst underneath the tower, gonna get killed by Wolves. Last shot for the tower, not gonna take him out. Wolves with the calculated play. Jelly trying to find the follow-up, can't and won't. 2-2 as Wolves is able to fight this one back.
Almost unfortunate set of circumstances for Wolves. Dwurst almost juked out that last in-hand to confirm the kill, and Wolves did a great job calculating how much damage he could take from the tower before knowing when to peel it back, and as a result, he manages to back off in time, as well as Chacho covering his wave during the teleport process. This is something that you could tell My Guys have been practicing before, time in and time out, because you have to have that kind of synergy where you discuss that, okay, I'm going to have to back here. Somebody can cover the wave. And there's no better person to cover that wave than your support that wants to be able to get any sort of experience he can.
And that's one of the, that's a classic maneuver. Brochacho's a vet. Brochacho's a veteran. Brochacho was on one of the first teams in the Smite Pro League. When we first started the Smite Pro League, he was an inaugural member, honestly, on Team Thirst, actually, over in North America, PC. So he's been competitive in Smite for a long time, finally finding a home in the console world, and relatively successful as well. He shows up in the regular season, he shows up at LAN. Brochacho is one of these really consistent players, which is something I didn't think I'd say.
Something inconsistent about him is the predictability of his god pool. I can't even remember the last time that I've seen Brochacho play the Athena.
Very
Normally
true.
Playing some of these aggressive guardians that wants to be in your face, kind of like Ymir, Ares. He'll even play warriors every now and then, but the Athena selection here in this game against Obey Alliance leads me to believe that there's some sort of homework that they've been studying for, trying to make sure that they put themselves in a position in the mid to late game to get Transonics in a great spot.
Yeah, I mean, when I think El Brochacho, I think Ares and I think Sun Wukong. I don't think a beautiful taunt into an up-down from Wolves, but there's a great jump from Jelly. Brochacho's gonna eat it. Very low is KhaoticPurpose. Great ultimate from the mid lane, by the way. Delta Marine picks up number 3. But right there, I mean, when it comes down to, totally sure, El Brochacho, we might know him as Ares and Sun Wukong, but at the end of the day, taunt into Petrify.
Yeah, it's just as easy as that. You just connect the dots. You go from point A to point B, and that's what the whole draft purpose is for Brochacho and Transonics in the mid to late game. But talking about that gank on the right-hand side real quick, despite Dwurst dying there, this is a great sign for him, considering the fact that it took my guys so long to take out this level 7 Ymir using 3 ultimates. There's not even that much tankiness on the side of Dwurst so far. Didn't finish off the breastplate of Valor. Doesn't have that much high of a health pool because he's only level 7 right now. Ymir has one of the highest health per level.
Nice ultimate, gonna catch Coviiii out. That's the Zeus ultimate, but Delta Marine takes him down before the detonate. Myflin still here, and pbnjellly in some trouble. Backside of the ultimate, not gonna kill. And the deaths continue. Obey looking to push him down. There's a jump over the wall. Transonics gets Koopa stopped. That's gonna be a good one for Air Cougar. And they're trying to chase down Brochacho. Can they? I don't think they can.
No, but that's fine because they take him out. His ultimate is not available. They found 2 picks. Technically have another one if Brochacho decides to come in. Gold Fury is being contested. It's going to have to be reset here, though. A lot of pressure here from Obey Alliance. My guy's forced to respond, and that's going to be a pause.
Yeah, we're going to take a brief moment to let everything calibrate real quick. 5-3 are the kills right now. My guy's on the downside of that one. Obey certainly a little bit more active here, and certainly very aggressive. That's really what we've seen here is just pure aggression.
That last encounter there was a great play from Jelly, being able to knock up Coviiii before the detonate happened.
Exactly.
That Zeus ultimate was doing a lot of damage, charged up so many stacks on everybody. Without that detonate, Zeus becomes just that much less meaningful.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the damage, so Zeus ultimate does a lot of damage by sitting in it.
Yes.
But you're more afraid of the after hit from the detonate than you are from the actual lightning storm. So once Zeus is dead and the detonate's not coming, I'll just hang out in the rain. It's not that big a deal. Call me Gene Kelly. We're getting right back into it right here. Again, my guys, Obey. Still game number 1. Things have situated. There's another belly flop into Brochacho. Ultimate, trying to find the solo kill. pbnjellly, wasted. Oh, too aggressive, Jelly. That's him thinking back to his old jungle days.
That was a nice opportunity by Jelly, and it wasn't necessarily an attempt to try to get a solo kill. He was trying to set up Delta Marine with that World Weaver. Wolves coming in from the backhand side. Delta Marine was not prepared. That backflip is used, but not much mana, and with this Athena ultimate, all the damage mitigation for Wolves, he's able to tank that tower forever.
Wonderful play by my guys, and that's why snipers always have a spotter with them. If you're just gonna sit there looking down the scope, man, somebody's gonna jump on your backside. Delta Marine falls down pretty much because of what you were talking about. pbnjellly trying to set up the kill for Delta Marine, so he's locked in there, which means Wolves can just walk up and jump on you.
Ooh, Ooh, Transonics going in for a 1v1, and the idea was to
Always.
zone Air Cougar away from the wave that Transonics pushed under that tower, so Air Cougar losing a lot of golden experience under his tower. He still has a 1-level lead here. Both of these hunters going for that Transcendence build, and once those get online, we're going to see a lot more action here in the duel lane. That power for both of them, they have a lot of great scaling with their ultimates.
Yeah, both of these characters really ability-based. Air Cougar on the Anhur certainly can do work, and we've seen him do work already. Transonics, on the other hand, has been relatively quiet here, Toli. Both of these characters kind of hit their strides at the same time. Why hasn't Transonics had the same opportunities that we've seen Air Cougar with?
We've seen a lot of setup plays from pbnjellly more than anything, and this is why we've seen Air Cougar being a little bit more vocal. We saw him make a play onto Coviiii when he forced the beads earlier on between that red and the purple buff after my guys looked for that invade, whereas Transonics is quietly farming around. He's just waiting for the right opportunity for Air Cougar to get too aggressive, and then that's when El Borchacho is going to be looking for that Athena global ultimate to be able to turn the tide.
I love that you used the term vocal there. Transonics certainly not one of the more outspoken players, but he said time and time again, you know, sometimes you just gotta be quiet, let the gameplay speak for itself, and everybody see what you're doing. That's certainly what he's looking for, an opportunity, but Borchacho just collapsed on. But honestly, that's a death for the support, but it's also Zeus ultimate, Toli. Obey, I mean, sure, they got to feel good about that one, and my guys aren't happy that Borchacho falls down to the wayside, and that's going to be troublesome, as there's, you know, 3 ultimates down, PBM, or pbnjellly, Air Cougar, and Myflin all burn the ults.
That's a determining factor to allow my guys to start up this Gulf here. Already at half health, pbnjellly is here, but he doesn't have the Intoxicate. Coviiii taking a lot of damage, but barely avoiding that jump.
Myflin with a perfect flank, gets flanked on himself. Wolves finds the jump after a great ultimate from Transonics. That's the opportunity he was looking for. Wolves will be taken out thanks to a Neith ultimate. But that one, that's going to be an even trade. Wolves or Myflin. However, Obey have control of the objective at this point. Borchacho here looking to do what he can, but he's an Athena, not really adept at stealing the Gold Fury. And that one goes down to Obey, and they take a 2,000 gold lead.
That was a great play also by using that Ymir wall to potentially intercept the dash that could have been used by Borchacho just to steal that Gold Fury, as well as the wall being able to intercept the taunt. So you want to make sure that you have those 2 options covered. Great play by Dwurst yet again, using the Guardian Soul Lane very effectively here, level 11.
You know, it's rough stuff for my guys right there. They lose the Zeus ultimate trying to protect Borchacho. There's 4 players grouped up. I mean, I don't have a problem with using the Zeus ultimate, but then going for the Gold Fury with it down, I think was a problematic decision. And they're trying to make up for it on the right side, but look at all that damage that Myflin's able to deal! Dobleon for the jungler, just like that. Obey have a 9-6 lead. Here comes Coviiii, he gets the kill as well. Double kill for the jungler, a single kill for the hunter. The objective goes the way of the same team, and it's 10-6. Obey snatching up an even larger lead, now leading by 4,000 or just about.
Obey just keep getting caught with their pants down. There was a 4-on-3 advantage for Obey that turned the corner, and it was also the fact that they started up the Fire Giant Demon Portal guy boss thing. So they wanted to make sure they stopped the objective and not necessarily find the kills for Obey, but just to get him off of it. But my guys felt confident enough to fight into it without true knowledge about how many members from Obey really were there.
I mean, that was just... We saw episode 1, and then they aired the same episode 30 minutes later. It's like when they re-air it for the West Coast audience. We watch that same play. All right, they go for an objective, not really the best time, and they lose the team fight because of it. And then the literal next decision my guys make is, let's go for an objective, not an ideal time, and then lose the team fight afterwards.
The only difference between those 2 objectives was the fact that Coviii's ultimate was up for the 2nd objective. The Zeus ultimate played a little bit of a role there, but it's just not enough currently. It's only level 11 Zeus that only has shoes in the Magi finish. Doesn't have the Bancrofts quite completed yet, so he's not doing the damage that he really wants to, especially when the Zeus is getting dove, and you use that Zeus ultimate detonate combination, you want to be at low health to synergize with more magical power.
What's even funnier to me about that exchange was it even went poorly for my guys due to the same situation. Myflin found a flank and smacked somebody too hard. Now, the first time it was a single player. The second time, Myflin wraps around, comes in from the right angle, and just nails two players, almost immediately deleting them. That's what wins the team fights. It's Myflin's superior positioning and burst damage out of this aggressively built Cabrakan boots into the Void Stone. That one's going to be a kill for Coviiii.
That was a nice opportunity to find something back for my guys to get back into this. And on top of Myflin being able to find the nice flanks to make sure the tides turn for Obey Alliance is the fact that my guys, Wolves on this Odin, has been diving Delta Marine time in and time out, and that's not something you really want to do. He's just going to be able to backflip away from you. So you want to be able to try to use your cage in conjunction with Coviii's ultimate, line up the circles.
When it comes down to it, Wolves here, I mean, he's focusing the Neith. Is that the wrong player to focus? Is Neith a threat outside of the ultimate, really, in these team fights?
Well, you can zone her out just by using the ultimate. She's not going to be able to necessarily walk through it, and if she wants to get through, she'll either have to have somebody phantom her inside, or she'll have to backflip inside the cage to help out the rest of her teammates. She could use those in-hands through the cage rings as well, depending on how it's aligned. But honestly, I'd rather see Wolves just stick next to Coviiii, try to get those ultimates paired up together instead of trying to zone away a level 14 Neith, who is actually relatively farther ahead here than Coviiii. 2 levels ahead, has the red buff. Fatalis finished with 50 stacks of Transcendence. That's a lot of physical power for her abilities, as well as a lot of mobility to make it more difficult to really lock her down.
So Obey's mid laner, certainly a little wiggly here. As we're 15 minutes in, 10-7, Obey leading my guys, but my guys are certainly making them work for it. 3,000 gold lead for Obey, and my guys are not exactly... It's interesting here. My guys are helping Obey get that lead by making some curious decisions, but at the same time, everything outside of their objective decision-making has been fantastic. The team fights have been all right, and my guys have found some really excellent ganks. It's just the objectives and the decision-making around them that has really stunted my guys' game today.
They've been able to get some great counterplays, and that's what my guys should be able to look for in the future. Keep looking for the aggressive plays from Obey Alliance and then be in position to get something in return. Now, Obey Alliance have a little bit of a lead, but it's not insurmountable. It's not a great lead that my guys is not going to be able to come back from.
So what do you do with a 3,000 gold lead?
You're comfortably sitting in a position where you're just going to be looking for more plays like this. Starting up the gold fear like Eric Kruger's doing, waiting for somebody out of position. Myflin looking for a stun, but not going to find it.
Instead, Gold Fury gets leashed very low. pbnjellly has to jump out of Coviii's ultimate. And my guys utilize the ult one more time. There's the dash forward. Great play by Transonics, but Air Cougar able to aegis it away. KhaoticPurpose giving a dash, and that is going to be one of the biggest deals about this latter half of the game, folks. KhaoticPurpose is in trouble, dashes away, finds the shield, and ultimately will get taken out by pbnjellly for kill number 11 on Obey. The Guardian could be in trouble as Wolves gives chase. Can't find it. There's a great meditation, and that'll save the life of Jelly. And my guys put all that in for nothing.
That freeze from Dwurst, but he's not done yet. He's going to chase down, walling off so many members, but the taunt is going to prevent the carpet. But Coviiii gets rooted out by Delta Marine. Desert Fury being used. Brochacho gets knocked up. Coviiii taken out on the left. On the right, Brochacho gets taken out, but not until Dwurst gets answered back.
There's Air Cougar over the top, finds the knock-up onto Transonics, changes targets, now all about the Medusa. Here comes help, Delta Marine with the arrow, 14. Obey with the kill, there it is.
Jelly's
over the
not
top.
done.
Wolves, he'll get away. Jelly wanted more again. Jelly thinking back to his old jungle days. Obey wind up on top right there, 42-39 is the gold, 14-9 are the kills, and the gold's gonna skyrocket after that objective. 5,200 gold in the lead is Obey right here. Delta Marine gonna jump away from Wolves, and there's help from the jungle. It's just routine. They made it look so routine, getting their mid laner out of trouble.
Not done yet, though. Delta Marine does get caged in. He doesn't have the backup available. Nemesis ult being used, trying to deter it. Oh, great stun from Air Cougar. Gonna save his life, but he's still gonna get taken out. Still able to try to run away in the right side jungle.
Oh, wow. I don't care that he didn't get the kill. I want to see that play again and again. That was like a 720. I'm pushing it. That was like a 180, 270, just impale, boom. That's one of those feel plays that when you ask a player after the game, right? I've done this time and time again. Just what were you thinking when you found that turnaround impale or something really mechanically, right? Wolves in some trouble with the double gank. And the answer will usually just be, honestly, I felt it. You know, it's not about calculating the situation. It's just about pure feel at that point. Wolves goes to the double push and inevitably gets punished. Out from the mid lane, Neith should also take out Brochacho as well. I don't like KhaoticPurpose and Coviiii here, totally. I think this could be more trouble than it's worth. My guy is trying to save the support right here. Blows the ultimate out of 2 players as the Athena helps out beforehand. And it looks like the Nemesis will be the one to pay dividends. KhaoticPurpose goes down 1, 2, and 7 for the jungler.
2 lives were sacrificed just for a tier 1 solo tower at the 19-minute mark, and now instantly, without any hesitation, Obey are starting up this fire giant demon. And that's going to be gone. Coviii's absolutely deleted another kill for Obey Alliance, getting the portal demon down. Transonics can only watch from a distance as Fire Giant gets started.
This is different, though. Transonics can certainly influence the Fire Giant play. pbnjellly here. He'll blow the stun, and that's pretty much all he can do to Transonics. Now Trans can walk past him if he wants to. Instead, he's going to opt to miss some basics on the support player. Fire Giant goes down to Obey, and they'll likely back, as my guys do not want to force this situation. They'll back off here. 20 minutes are just underneath the clock. 17-11. And my guy's trailing by about 6,000 gold. Earlier, 3,000, not too big of a deal. 6,000 plus a Fire Giant.
This is where things are looking a little hairy for my guys. They need to be very careful about how they position themselves in these encounters. They can't get caught out by this aggressive front line. Myflin and Jelly leading the charge, trying to get Delta Marine some confirmed damage, but just zoning out, basically trying to get this tier 1 tower. They don't even need minions here with this tower being this slow. Level 16 Neith with the Fire Giant having a lot of damage, but Air Cougar's left alone.
And there's going to be the Nemesis ultimate, the Athena ultimate. Air Cougar's gonna pop the beads. Chaotic still on the path, and that impales and not gonna find a home. One more basic should do it. Transonics picks up the kill. That right there, Tolly. I mentioned it earlier in a team fight that didn't go well. KhaoticPurpose will be the difference for my guys here, if there is a difference for them at all. I said and the reason I said that is because when I casted the Nemesis in that team fight, I said KhaoticPurpose and was surprised that he was in the game, because Nemesis hasn't done anything, which, sure, she's a later game god. Once KhaoticPurpose, he's online now, he's starting to do the things. Now this game should be a little bit more favored in my guy's direction, and that's kind of what we're seeing. Wolves jumps in, looking for Delta Marine, brings him right down low, can't confirm the kill. Myflin trying to punish the Odin up top, and pbnjellly just confirming the safety for his mid lane Neith. Now Myflin's the one being chased, slowed thanks to gun gear, and KhaoticPurpose puts number 2 in his Ks.
And that's a great play from Wolves. He was able to zone away so many members on the top right-hand side, defending that tier 2 tower with just his ultimate, while there was 3 members from my guys taking out Air Cougar. That time difference between Wolves using his ultimate, buying time, allowed every member from my guys to rotate all the way from the left to the right, and then look for a 5-on-4 engagement. Now, it took a little bit of time to find a kill, but they finally found Myflin. Delta Marine was barely able to escape, and this is the slow and steady comeback that a team needs to do in order to get back into the game and stay relevant.
Exactly. This is what my guys are looking for now. They probably didn't plan this game out like this from minute 1, but at no point in time was my guys really terribly out of control. This didn't spiral out of control. It was a 3,000 gold lead into a 5.5 to 6,000 gold lead, and that's sort of my guys identified. All right, we lost that situation, and we lost this second situation. Everything's still relatively under control for my guys. With this Gold Fury, though, my guys absolutely have to defend this.
And this just goes to show that Fire Giant is good, but it's not the end-all, be-all. All members from Obey Alliance had it there. Now we see a collapse here onto Wolves, but it's just a distraction. Everybody else is collapsing underneath.
The flank into the counter flank. Here comes the rest of my guys jumping out of the damage from our solo lane Ymir. It's Delta Marine. that takes out the jungler right quick. Here comes damage out of Air Cougar. It's Delta Marine that takes care of the support right quick. Double kill for the mid lane Neith. It's Delta Marine 72, and his team's gonna look for Gold Fury.
The control from Obey Alliance is just too much for my guys to handle. The damage is there from my guys.
Yeah.
We see Coviiii at the top of the player damage charts by 6,000 almost, but it's not enough if the rest of your team can't get the damage because they're all controlled and CC'd. Transonics on the bottom end of things.
It's just the objective decision making from my guys is objectively poor. That's what's going on here, folks. My guys are just making the wrong decisions about when to pick up their objectives by themselves and get it taken away, and then my guys just aren't executing these steals correctly. That was a great team fight from my guys, but the jungler just gets caught out. Wolves tries to play aggressive this time around, doesn't have as many tools as last time. Big taunt, but nothing to do with it. 3 players grouped for what damage? The team isn't there, but there's a sprint, Tolly. This is what my guys is looking for.
Air Cougar's jump is down. He's able to escape towards the mid lane using the pillar, the ultimate from Dwurst. Going to do a lot of damage to KhaoticPurpose. He's stuck in the wall. The carpet's good. Coviiii finally throws out his ult, but he's going to get flanked from Delta Marine behind.
Myflin, fantastic play again. My guys right now need to just always turn around because at every single situation, Myflin is behind them, right? Always behind them. This is 3 extremely important team fights that have been won because Myflin said surprise.
Oh, Air Cougar though gets taunted in, but it's not enough damage to confirm the kill. Still in a little bit of trouble, but he trusts in his teammates to petrify. He jumps away in the nick of time. All the escapes are being used by Wolves. His dash in the backline, finding one onto Air Cougar. Delta Marine trying to charge up the ultimate, but has to be careful. It's Bacchus and Transonics.
Back right in. There's Mortality Wolves over the wall. Delta Marine gets taken out by the Odin. Oh my goodness. Just when you think Wolves is gone, he comes right on back. Man, what a play. Wolves. Mortality Wolves. Shoutouts to JD and Octane Pro. Wolves repping the dead organization here. My guys now starting the Fire Giant. This will be the 3rd attempted objective that my guys is going for. Are they able to take this one totally, or will they get smoked again?
It's up to Myflin. He's left alone, 1-on-5. Nemesis ult being used. Finally confirming it is my guys. This is the objective that they needed the whole time. The rest of them was just a tactical feeding bait for Obey Alliance to bite in. And now my guys are in the mid to late game here. They're able to diminish the lead that Obey has able to get. Now with this Fire Giant, 2 members still dead from Obey Alliance, they're going to be able to get another 1,500 gold in their pocket right here.
What is that? What is that? The tactical feed, what are they? My guy is just conditioning Obey. Call it Pavlov's Fire Giant. Anytime you see us go for an objective, we're going to force you to fight us, and then this time Myflin falls down.
It's just a gambit, objective gambit, right?
That's exactly what it is. My guys here still trailing. But that objective play and that push brings us right back into it. We're about 5,000 gold down. Don't be disoriented. We actually just flip the map so we can follow my guys, as it seems to be they might be aggressive this time around. So we'll see from is the minimap? No, the minimap's the same. So my guys right here should be pushing up. Looks like they want to group up and push the mid lane, Tolly.
They're only about 6,000 gold behind. They don't want to be able to just push up a lane quite yet. The same story happened with Obey Alliance, where they thought they could just group up and look for a play. It didn't really work out in their favor, so my guys has to be a little bit more patient when they decide to actually commit. They still have Fire Giant for another 2.5 minutes. Yeah. That's plenty of time to start warning around the minimap, look for some rotation from Obey Alliance, find that one member out of position and take him out. The tools are heavily in my guys' favor in terms of finding these picks. With the mobility from Transonics, you got the global ultimate from Bacchus. Wolves can lock down a lot of members with that cage.
Bacchus got the rave belt. Remember? You thought it was so funny last time. When you combine the Fire Giant with the Pearl Belt, if we could take a look at Bacchus real quick on that Athena, it just creates this laser light show. So as we see the push down the left side lane, right side lane, the Gold Fury side lane here coming out from my guys. Coviiii his ultimate is going to be extremely important once these Phoenix pushes come. Great taunt, mid-freeze onto the worst. He's still gonna get 2 with the stun, but there's the Zeus throw. That's gonna put down damage on the Dwurst. Great meditation out of Obey to save the life of the solo lane Ymir. There comes Athena looking for the extra damage, not going to find it. All 5 ults down for my guys.
Triple taunt into the bird bomb, forcing the backflip from Delta Marine. Jelly doing a good job knocking up as well, but my guys came what they got. They got the tier 2 tower, but Dwurst is out of position now.
I mean, that's the story of Ymir, right? He's down to 25% HP. No meditation this time. Coviiii pulls the trigger horn and takes out the solo lane Ymir. Mid lane Phoenix is going to be aggressed on. 10%, 0. There's the first Firebird of the game. Myflin going to get jumped on and toasted. Transonics on the good side of that one. pbnjellly looking like he's in trouble. KhaoticPurpose gets a little deep, but Obey pushes him out. My guys plays it smart and goes for the objective one more time. Right side Phoenix, done.
They're just weakening the Titan, bro. Chow finding another taunt.
Big ultimate.
Gone is Air Cougar. My guys are looking to close out game number 1.
That was a great play coming out from KhaoticPurpose, exactly understanding what he and his role is here for. 3, 4, and 11. 14 kills out of 20 belong to Nemesis, or at least have Nemesis's name on them. You might have said that KhaoticPurpose didn't do much in that game, or that he wasn't active, and for the beginning of the game you might have been correct, but for a Nemesis to wind up with 14 assists in a 20 game situation, or excuse me, 11 assists, I mean, that's what you want out of your Nemesis, and that's what you want out of your team if you're my guys. A fantastic turnaround, just a great game of Smite all the way through.
Obey Alliance did a great job shutting down KhaoticPurpose in that early game, invading some of his buffs to start things off, sacrificing some stuff in the dual lane for Air Cougar, but it didn't matter at the end of the game. My guys, they were down most of that whole game, but not the last 3 to 4 or 5 minutes. That was all my guys the whole way. They weren't even worried.
No, listen, they made a mistake on an objective and it backfired. They made a mistake on an objective and it backfired, but they finally got things to work, and they finally got, because as we noted throughout the game, the team fights out of my guys were generally fine. The one-on-ones were generally fine. It was just when it came to objective time, they weren't able to really make the right calls, but that Fire Giant, absolutely the right call. Certainly the way to make it work. The beginning of